Hi, everyone. So, I'm David, and this is my narrative speech about earning my CrossFit Level 1 and the experiences I went through during the process and kind of how it changed me a little bit from high school and going on through adulthood. Throughout my senior year of high school, I witnessed all my friends and all my peers around me start to kind of figure out what path they were going to choose through college and through life. And I had attempted to do the same thing, but I never really had a very clear focus on where I was going to go, what was I going to do. So I kept trying, I kept playing around with ideas, and nothing ever really developed. Um, and I just kind of kept continuing down this road. And by the time graduation, senior year of high school, by the time graduation came about, um, I still had no idea. And the only thing I could really think of was to follow my parents to a new state um, and just start working. I didn't really go to college right away. I had no plans for that. So I moved to Georgia and I got a 9 to 5 job, and I just went from there. And in that 9 to 5 job, I started to create a salary, and I decided to do some things for myself. One of those things was to start doing CrossFit. And when I started doing CrossFit, I went to a gym with a coach, and I started to develop these skills and develop this new lifestyle. Um, and I had heard about coaching. I had a coach, so I knew about coaching, and I saw that you could make a living off of coaching, and I was curious about it. I wanted to know more, so um, I talked to my coach about it. We had a discussion, and I kind of thought it was something for me to try, something for me to chase. Um, so I signed up for the coaching seminar, which was a weekend long course. And I signed up for it. I paid the money that I needed to pay. And I downloaded all the material. I started reading it. And it was all stuff that I was familiar with. The material was not new to me, really. And so I just dove right in and I started reading. And about 3 months ahead of time before the seminar, I really started to dive into all of the information and all the literature. And as the days approached towards the seminar, I started to question myself as to, was I ready for this? Do I know enough? Am I good enough? I wasn't quite sure, but I just kept going. I didn't let it stop me. I just kept going. And um, by the time we got to the actual seminar the day of, um, I was so nervous, but I was so excited that I was the first one to show up. I had beaten all the teachers for the seminar. I had beaten all the other students to the seminar. I had even beaten um, all of the people that were working at the facility for the seminar. I was literally the first one in the parking lot. And I thought that that was a good indication of this is where I need to be because I don't want anything more than this right now. Um, People started to show up to the seminar, and I got my registration done. I walked in, I taped my name badge on my chest, and I we started. And I sat down for the very first lecture, and the very first question of the lecture was, "Has anybody ever done CrossFit before or been to a CrossFit gym? Raise your hand." And most of us raised our hand, but some of us didn't. Some people were there for the first time. didn't have any background doing CrossFit. And that was sort of a relief off my shoulders to know that there are people in this room that do not know as much as I do. And it gave me a little bit of confidence to keep going and to keep trying this and see maybe I can succeed in this. Um, so we started in the lectures after that, and I had spent my entire Saturday listening to CrossFit lectures, practicing CrossFit, doing movements and breakout sessions, and taking notes. And it was one of the best days of my life. Just being in that culture and surrounding myself in it, it was uh, groundbreaking. And I remember I came home and it was just like I couldn't shut up about it. And I was very excited, but I was also very nervous because I knew Sunday the next day was the big day. Um, I woke up Sunday morning, uh, anxious but nervous, very nervous. We continued Sunday with some more lectures, um, another breakout session, and then we broke for lunch. And that lunch break was the last lunch break before the big test. And the big test was a 50-question test, and I had to score a 70% or higher out of 50 questions. And along with full attendance in the lectures and full engagement. And I was positive that I had that. Um, but I just kept studying like I had never seen it before. And I just remember on that lunch break, I read every page, every note. I read every paragraph. I didn't leave anything untouched. Um, we all sat down for the test, and immediately my hands just started flying through the pages. You know, I hit every question and I was careful on every question. I read it twice. I went back and checked it again. I took my time and I was about middle of the pack in my class to finish the test. I really made sure that I had combed everything on that test. And when I turned it in, I knew that that was it. And I knew that, my actions would lead to whatever outcome was to come. Um, it took about 3 weeks for the test scores to come back, and those 3 weeks were the longest 3 weeks of my life. And I just remember when I finally opened up that congratulations email that I had passed. I had never been more excited and I had never been more proud of myself for actually accomplishing something that I had started from beginning to end. I had done it before in my life, but this was something that I really put attention into. And it gave me a new sense of confidence and accomplishment. Uh, and I just couldn't wait for what else was in store in my life. Thank you.